As a result, I'll be taking the lead today, expected to commit the violent acts I'd initially winced upon seeing. I left a short while after Sarah, taking with me Marcus's knife. While I don't really want to take over as lead collector, the alternative is far less appealing. Either the collection could get done, or I wind up in an underground MMA ring. No matter how much Andretti has prepared me, that's still a fate I want to avoid at all costs. Come to think of it, I seem to be shifting jobs rather rapidly lately. Without realizing it, I was coerced into being an underground MMA fighter, then an assistant debt collector, and now a lead debt collector, all in quick succession. Hell, chances are it'll soon change again. There's no way my position as lead debt collector will last very long. But whatever the future holds, all that matters for me is the time being that I survive the next 3 hours of my life. My first day as lead debt collector, and hopefully my last. Waiting in front of our first stop was Marcus, who'd shaped up considerably since I last saw him. Unfortunately, his confidence and attitude appeared to be among the last stages of his recovery. Morning, killer. Well, someone's in a good mood today. What right does he have to call me that anyway? He killed more people on our first collection together than I have total. Not that that's really a discussion I want to have. Why so quiet, killer? Don't like your new name? Far better than your old one. What kind of stupid name is Suo anyway? It's not like I got to pick it, okay? Our mother named Sarah, and our father decided that twins should have twin names. Apparently, my mother flat out rejected his other suggestions, leaving me with the least abnormal one he came up with. Shut it, Bluey. Let's get to work. Or what? Are you afraid to go in without me? Rather than laugh and put on his usual act, Marcus continued to stare at me bemusedly. I guess he expected a little more out of his forced recruit. I trust that you were briefed on our stops for the morning. Yeah, I remember them all. While Marcus was getting patched up, Andretti ran over the list of names, amounts, and addresses with me. Since having a paper trail was not an option, I needed to commit them all to memory, even with my head muddled from my discouraging morning. Luckily, we only have around a dozen stops to make today. No matter how distracted I am, I should be able to pull it off. Then what are you waiting for? Well, here goes nothing. First up is a restaurant owned and operated by a Taiwanese man, and it's not the only one on our list for today either. Are Asians compulsive gamblers, or are they just plain bad at gambling? I'm fairly new to this job, yet it seems a lot of stops I've made have been restaurants owned by middle-aged Asian men. What's more, I get the feeling those are the kind of pointless questions I'll be asking myself a lot today. Marcus and I remained seated until the only other patron present finally left. As he walked out the door, I followed Marcus's usual lead-in. I made my way to the entrance and flipped the open sign around, locked the front door, and closed the shutters. Not this again. Oi, get in here! Huh? The waitress called out to the next room, summoning forth a middle-aged man with an apparent gambling problem. Don't me. Take a look at what you've done now. The waitress pointed at Marcus and I. I'll handle this. The hell you will. Every time this happens, you brush me aside, saying you'll take care of everything. Then 3 months later, it's the same thing all over again. Look, I said I'll handle it, all right? And I'm saying that if you were capable of doing so, we wouldn't be in this situation. The couple began to argue, soon reverting to their native tongue and excluding Marcus and I from the conversation. At first I felt awkward about having lost control of the situation so quickly, but soon after that I instead felt amused. While I'd seen many similar exchanges between indebted parties during my admittedly short criminal career, never had Marcus and I been so blatantly ignored. Swapping languages is a pretty obvious yet effective tactic. They could be plotting to kill the two of us right now, and I'd be none the wiser.